So here's one thing most people don't realize. Eating mindfully is not just about eating slowly. It actually starts way before you take your very first bites, from picking your food ingredients to how you wash the food ingredients, how you prepare it, the cooking methods that you use, how you serve it, how you eat it, and then paying attention to how your body actually responds to this food that you're eating so you can make better food decisions in the future. So eating mindfully is not just about eating slowly, it's putting the whole factor into consideration when you're eating. And I've come to find out that sometimes how you eat is actually as important, even if not more important, than what you are actually eating. So I thought it best to just film this episode so that we can bring more awareness to mindful eating and look at it from a holistic standpoint instead of just focusing on it as just eating slowly and relishing the food on your plates. Because guys, we live in a very fast-paced world, and today people hardly ever pay attention to what goes into their belly, and that needs to change, because I think that we're doing ourselves a very, very big disservice if we're not focusing on what actually goes into our belly. The only thing that we have as humans that helps us work on this earth, thrive on this earth, and do the things that we wake up every morning to go and chase or to go and do is this body. And what fuels this body from a human perspective is food, the food we eat. So we are supposed to be giving or paying attention heavily to the food we eat. Not just the food, but even how we eat it, how we prepare it. We're supposed to be giving it a lot of attention, but we don't. And that's why sometimes most people should change their life. They should change the quality of their lives just because they neglect this very important aspect of their lives. And for me, that's one of the reasons why I'm now very big on not just food in general. I'm big on nutrition as well, because I'm excited to learn more about how this thing that keeps my body thriving. I'm excited to learn more about how it relates to my body, how it helps me just keep going, and how I can better manage how I do it and how I eat it. And filming this video for you all is my way of bringing awareness to it so that you too can actually learn to start eating very mindfully. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 reasons why eating mindfully is absolutely important and a necessity. And then I'll go ahead to share some practical tips on how you can start eating mindfully today. See, the solution to bringing more awareness and enjoying your eating experience is, or even meeting your weight goals, is not by going on any more diets. All you need to do is just bring some mindfulness to your food and everything that it encompasses, and you'll watch your life take a different turn. After this video, I hope you have a rethink. But before we go into the points that I just mentioned, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now will be a very good time for you to subscribe and join this our growing community, especially if eating healthy and maintaining a healthy lifestyle is of importance to you, because on this channel, we share every single thing that can help you just go on your healthy eating journey and your healthy living journey in general and make it more enjoyable. Apart from the healthy recipes and the healthy conversations that we have on the channel, like the one I'm having here, we also have meal plans. So meal plans that are ranging from healthy meal plans to a low carb meal plan to a detox meal plan, diabetes friendly meal plan, weight loss meal plan. And we have some other ones we're working on as well that you can choose from to help you on your journey. Just click the link in the description box down below and access the meal plans, get more information about them and start using them today. And then of course, we're bringing back winning sizzling selections. Guys, you guys have been requesting that book. We're bringing it back, but this time we're going to make it even better. It's going to be Winning Sizzling Selection 2nd edition. So right now we're just going through the phase of refurbishing things, taking things out that we know may not really be there anymore, because now we've elevated, we've grown, there's more knowledge, more information. We want to make the book even more valuable, more better. So we're in that process right now, and we're actually almost done with it pretty much. So if you want the book, I'm going to put a link in the description box down below where you can actually join the wait list, so that once the book is ready, you'll be the very first to know, and then of course you can purchase and we ship it to you. We've got a lot of requests. I need the cookbook. I need the cookbook. The cookbook is coming, and this time around it's going to be better. I promise you, with mouth-watering, delicious, healthy, nourishing recipes for your body that you can choose from. And of course, it will have a lot of information that can also help you on your healthy living journey as well. So click the link in the description box down below to join that waitlist so that you're the first to know when the book is officially out. All right, without further ado, let's get right into the main video for today, shall we? Okay, so before I give you the pointers of why mindful eating is actually important in today's society, the very first thing I want to do is start by defining what mindful eating is in the very clearest of terms for anyone to understand. So mindful eating simply means being fully present and intentional with your food, from the moment you choose your ingredients to how you cook, how you serve, and how you enjoy your meal, and even noticing how your body feels afterwards. It's about slowing down, paying attention, and turning eating from just a routine into a truly nourishing experience. So from today, I want you to start looking at mindful eating as not just an act you perform when you're eating, but an act that actually begins from when you're selecting the food ingredients that you use to make the meal, then actually eating them, serving the meal, eating the meal, and then noticing how your body responds or reacts to the food that you have just eaten. So think of it this way. It's not just about what's on your plate. It's about how you experience it from a holistic standpoint, starting from the shopping experience all the way to noticing how it responds to your body. So with that in mind, let me now share with you 10 very unconventional reasons why mindful eating is actually super duper important, especially in today's society. And then later on in the video, I'm going to be sharing with you some practical tips on how you too can start eating mindfully today. The very first reason why mindful eating is actually very important, especially if you are somebody who is big on eating healthy, is you become more intentional about the quality of ingredients that you use in making the food. It makes you more curious. This way you are now more open to learning and understanding how the different food ingredients, how they form or come together to nourish this body that you have. You are now mindful of selecting ingredients that actually help you nourish your body, not just ingredients that just make you get filled up and then repeat the cycle over and over again without paying attention to the quality or how those ingredients are nourishing the body. So it makes you just become very intentional, because now I'm mindful. Okay, my body is the only system that I have to live on this earth. This is my only way to make contact with this earth realm. So being mindful says, I am going to now start paying attention to what goes into my body. And that now helps you become more intentional by just that mindful decision. You are more intentional about the quality of ingredients. You start choosing fresher, cleaner, nutrient-rich ingredients when you cook, because you now understand how each one affects your body and then the long-term benefits with regards to your health. So that's the very first reason why it's actually very important to start being mindful of how you eat. It just makes you more intentional, okay? The second unconventional reason why mindful eating is actually very important, bearing in mind my definition of mindful eating, is you start paying more attention to your cooking methods. I remember when I was actually starting out on my own journey, and I had just this was many years ago, and I was still learning and understanding how these foods that we eat or we were exposed to, I was exposed to in my younger years, how it was affecting or reacting with my body. I'd always find myself very sluggish. I would always find myself feeling some kind of way, always moody, and then of course the fat was there. I had fat tendencies. My arms were getting bigger, my stomach was getting bigger, my labs were getting bigger, everything was bigger and bigger. And so it got me very curious. How is all of this happening? And then that was when I realized one day through research that your cooking methods, this is no longer a secret. It's now common knowledge that your cooking methods actually affect affects not just the quality of the food, but then the nutrients component of that food. So for example, you will not get the same quality of food if you choose to deep fry a food in a lot of oil as opposed to baking or grilling or roasting in an oven or an air fryer. You definitely will not get the same quality of food. So somebody who is on a healthy eating journey, who is now deciding to be more mindful about how they eat, will start paying attention to their cooking methods. So for example, if you used to maybe fry an egg with 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil, which contains over 400 calories, you now say to yourself, instead of frying this egg, can I boil it? Can I poach it in some water? Or can I even bake it in the oven instead of frying? Or even if I would fry or use the oil method, can I use half a tablespoon instead of 3 tablespoons that I would use before? Some people don't even mind. Some people, you end up using a whole cup of oil to fry just a little bit of egg, and that definitely hampers greatly the quality of the food that you're cooking. So somebody who is eating mindfully will start paying attention to their cooking methods, and that's why mindful eating is actually important. So this third reason is for those people who don't necessarily cook at home or don't want to cook and are choosing to eat out. You become intentional about where you eat out and what you choose from the menu. I'm so selective about where I go to eat out because sometimes, you don't want to cook. You don't want to cook all the time. Or even taking away cooking from it, you want to host friends and you want to host families, or you can even decide to have a meeting at a restaurant over lunch and over dinner. I'm very particular because now I'm this girl who's living healthy and I have to be mindful of what goes into my body because I know it's the only thing I have. So what do? I'm mindful of the restaurants that I go to. I would only go to a restaurant I know would provide me or would have the healthy section on their menu that I can choose from or I can select from. Some restaurants don't necessarily have a healthy section, but then they have healthy meals in their menu that you can just mix and match from different places. And then instead of just picking what everybody would randomly pick, you are more selective because now you are mindful. You are paying attention to, okay, instead of having a rice or chips, I'll rather just have a salad and a steak, or I'll have a salad and a chicken. And then maybe in the dessert section, when you see, maybe you see smoothies, and you rather go for a berry smoothie as opposed to go for a smoothie that's made with bananas or mangoes or high sugar fruit content in them. So somebody who is mindful of their eating will become more intentional about where they eat out and then how they choose from the menu, what they choose from the menu. You won't find yourself eating out in somewhere that offers you very poor quality food in terms of not just the environment, but in terms of the nutrients as well. That's why mindful eating is actually very, very important. Another reason is that mindful eating helps you truly see what's on your plate. So now this is the general one that people know about mindful eating. You are aware, you are fully present, and you're looking at what's on my plate. So when you bring the plates and it's set before you, you're looking at it, okay, and you're asking yourself, okay, how is this piece of chicken doing me any good in my body? What are the nutrients in chicken? You can even go a step further to Google. What is the nutrients in chicken? What is the nutrients in rice? What is the nutrients that I would get from potatoes if there is a potato on your plate? Maybe you're eating beans and plantain. You can ask a simple question. Is this beans and plantain combination a good combination for my body? How can I eat it better? Or what can I do to make it better next time? So you're asking questions. Now you're seeing what's on your plate and you're asking questions about how it actually helps improve your nutrition and how it nourishes your body overall. That's what happens when you start becoming more mindful of the things that you eat. Another reason, of course, it improves digestion. When you're eating mindfully, you tend to choose slower, you tend to be more aware, you tend to be more conscious, and when you choose slower and you take your time, I always say that digestion actually starts from the mouth, how you chew the food. So you can process the food really, really well, which makes the entire digestion process a whole lot easier. So when you're chewing slowly, you are relishing the moment, enjoying the moment, avoiding distractions, and you're just bringing awareness and attention to what you are actually eating. It definitely improves digestion. And when your digestion is greatly improved, you would avoid things like bloating. You would avoid things like overeating. Every discomfort that comes from overeating or bloating will go away because now you are more mindful about how you eat the food that you eat. I said here that slowing down gives your digestive system time to do its job properly. properly, which means you absorb the nutrients a whole lot better and a whole lot easier. So this is another reason why mindful eating is actually very important. This next reason is actually one of my absolute favorite ones. And before I came into the concept, into the awareness of this concept, is something I know I used to do so much. So when you start eating mindfully, you start being more emotionally intelligent with food. What does emotional intelligence with food means? It means that you now start recognizing when you are eating just out of boredom, out of stress, out of social pressure, or just out of them. There's something known as stress eating or emotional eating. That's something I used to do before I started becoming mindful of my food and becoming mindful of my eating habits. So now when I'm eating or when I'm about to eat something, I know when it's coming from me choosing to nourish my body, or me satisfying hunger, or when it's coming from me just being stressed. Sometimes life happens and you find yourself just eating out of stress. Sometimes you are mindlessly eating. You can finish a whole pack of chips without even knowing that you have consumed over 1,000 calories from that chips, just because you are dealing with one stress. But then when you bring mindfulness into the equation, what happens is you now start knowing when you are stressed. And then you say, okay, I know I feel stressed right now. I know I'm going through something emotional. This bag of chips I'm about to eat, I know the damage I'm about to do. Do I really want to do that damage? That way you are asking questions and making intentional choices so that when you finish that chip, you know what you've done to yourself and you know that you have to go and remedy it somewhere or somehow. But if you are just mindless, today you will eat the bag of chips. Tomorrow again, when you are stressed, you will eat the bag of chips. Another day you will eat another bag of chips or a whole pack of something. And then before you know it, you are gaining weight just simply by stress eating. But when you are emotionally intelligent with food through mindful eating, you are aware of these things, and then it actually reduces your chances of eating from a place of emotion. And instead of eating emotionally, what you can now do is you can now find other activities that can help you take your mind away from thinking that food is the only way that can solve the stress. There are other activities like maybe calling a friend, going on a walk, doing something else, removing your mind from food. Food is not the solution to your stress. It's the quick solution, but it's not a fix to your stress. So you take your mind away from food and find out real ways you can actually fix that stress you are going through instead of compounding calories and then you're still not fixing that stress. So you start becoming more emotionally intelligent with food when you start eating more mindfully. Now, another reason why mindful eating is actually a necessity for everyone in today's society is you start being more conscious of food waste reduction. Now, at this time, when you're eating mindfully, you are less likely to overserve. You serve your food in portions. You know that this is the food I can actually finish, and then you serve in that small portion. When you dine out, you are serving in that small portion, or you are ordering what you know you can actually consume instead of wasting the food. And then even when you are dining at home, when you're done eating and you find that you have leftovers, do you throw away the food? No. Somebody who's a mindful eater will find Tupperwares and pack the food and save it for later because they know that now this food is going to come in very handy. This actually saves you money greatly, and then of course it supports food sustainability as well. So yeah, a mindful eater is somebody who is more conscious of reducing food waste at maximum capacity. And that's why it's actually important that you start building mindful eating habits in today's society, okay? The next point that I've put down here on why mindful eating is actually important is it saves you money. I said this in the last point, but then how does it save you money? When you start eating mindfully, you start planning your meals more intentionally. You reduce impulse purchases and you waste less food, just like I mentioned in the last part. You also become less likely to spend on random takeout or unnecessary snacks, which adds up over time. So somebody who is a mindful eater, I'll use myself as an example. I use what I call meal plans to plan my meals. And so my meal plans sometimes changes. Sometimes it changes per week. Sometimes it changes per month, depending on my food requirements or what I think my body needs at a certain time, right? So I am not mindlessly going into a grocery store without a grocery list. And my grocery list is highly dependent on my meal plan for a particular season. So I'm not just randomly waking up and saying I want to buy something. Yes, sometimes I buy a few things here and there, but it doesn't happen all the time. Impulse buying doesn't happen all the time. And that definitely saves me a lot of money, because now I know what I'm supposed to be eating at what particular time, and the ingredients I know I need to buy them. And sometimes I buy the ingredients in bulk, which also helps me save money as well. And that's why I highly recommend meal planning as a way to go, especially for someone who is looking to live or who's already living a healthy lifestyle. We have an array of meal plans, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Check them out and see which one fits your dietary preference and start using them today, because they make your life easy. The stress or worry about what to eat is gone. You know exactly what you're eating. There's a shopping list there that you can use, actually buy your ingredients, and then it's just broken down in very easy ways, and you don't have to worry or stress your brain about what to eat or counting the calories in what you're eating, because all of that has already been done for you in the meal plan. So click the link in the description box down below to get access to the meal plan today. Okay, another unconventional reason why eating mindful is actually important is that it improves your social experiences. What does this mean now? Mindful eating teaches you how to slow down and truly enjoy your meal. It teaches you how to avoid distractions, how to put away the distractions, put away the phone, put away the TV, especially when you're dining with your family and friends. And this actually makes meal time with your family and friends a whole lot meaningful. It makes it enjoyable, because now you are present. You are fully present in the moment. You are relishing the moment. You are there with them. They feel seen by you. They feel that you are all like you. It makes conversations lighter. It makes it heartier. And people appreciate this kind of shared experience when you're not overly distracted by whatever it is. So yeah, I believe so much so that mindful eating, with regards to avoiding distractions, actually improves your social experience and then makes connection and bonding with your family and friends a whole lot easier and enjoyable. Yeah, that's the word. Enjoyable. And this last one on my list on why mindful eating is actually very important is it helps you pay attention to how your body responds to the food that you eat. Because food does not end once you put it in your stomach. Once it enters your mouth. No. The process continues. It continues to how your body digests it, how the nutrients go into your bloodstream, into your cells, and into every part of your body. It continues from your wastes. Do you know you can tell a lot about what's going inside your body by the color of your poop? Do you know your poop that you poop in the toilet? Sorry, I'm being so graphic right now. That poop is waste from your food. After the body has processed the food, taking what it needs, and it's not saying this one I don't want. You can know what's going on inside your body from the color of your poop. That's where mindful eating comes into play. Do you notice and observe how you feel when you've eaten certain food groups? For example, for me, I noticed something because I became mindful. Whenever I eat cashews, I pass gas a lot. I don't know why, but every time I eat cashews, cashew nuts, I pass gas. And because of that, I avoid eating cashews I still eat cashews, but I don't eat them as often as I used to eat them. And when I know that I'm going to a public place, I avoid them completely. So that could and can only happen because I was mindful of my eating. I ate the cashews and I paid attention to how my body reacted to it. When I eat leafy vegetables, a lot of them, without supplementing them with other food groups, I find that I get very bloated, and the bloating is always very hard bloating. You know how they say fiber does not digest easily, and leafy vegetables contain a lot of fiber. So when I eat a lot, sometimes I just want to eat leafy vegetables and that's it. But I find that when I do that, it's a disaster for my body. So even if I must eat leafy vegetables, I'm eating them in very little quantity and then I'm mixing them with other food groups. And please, my focus is on leafy vegetables, not all other types of vegetables. I notice that when I eat maybe scrambled eggs in the morning, just eggs, I feel full and I stay full for much longer. The reason why I'm noticing this thing is because I am now very mindful of how the food I eat reacts with my body. I know from this mindfulness, I'm able to decipher, okay, this thing is good for my body. This thing is not good for my body. Whenever I eat sugar, whenever I eat a high sugary food, maybe an ice cream or I take a fizzy drink, which I hardly ever do. You can never catch me taking a fizzy drink in this lifetime. If you catch me, maybe because I really need that sugar, and that's the fastest way, but it's almost impossible or unlikely. But then when I used to take fizzy drinks, I didn't like how I felt. I feel so moody. I feel like my whole body is shutting down. I feel irritated. I feel a headache. I feel so many things. And that's because I was mindful of how that food I was eating was reacting with my body. So, do you feel sluggish after eating a meal? Do you feel something happening to you, maybe a headache or a bloated stomach or a discomfort after eating a meal? It's your body's way of telling you that what you have eaten is not okay for us and we need you to pay attention. But unfortunately, because a lot of people don't pay attention or are not mindful, they keep feeding their bodies with what their bodies do not want. And then every time you eat something, you get a discomfort. Every time you eat something, you get a discomfort. Get clues from how your body is responding or reacting to the food by being more mindful of how you eat. Okay, so now that you guys understand why mindful eating is such a powerful act, it's now time for us to now talk about how to indulge or perform the act. Because it's one thing to know why it's important, it's another thing to know how to now do it so that you can make it a part of your lifestyle. And the beautiful thing is, mindful eating isn't complicated at all. It's simply just bringing more intention and awareness into every step of your food process or your food journey. Every time you know you have to eat, eating is something that's a common denominator amongst every human being. We all eat, or we have all eaten at one time in our lives. And we will keep eating every single day unless you want to take a long fast. But as long as you're going to eat, it's important. Mindful eating just requires you to be more intentional and more aware of the step-by-step process of how that food is picked and then how your body responds to it after you're done eating it. So let me just show you some very simple, practical ways you can start eating more mindfully today. These ways are ways that I've used in my own life, and it has really helped me, and I've seen tremendous changes in my entire life just by eating more mindfully. And so I categorized it into different categories, right? Because remember I said mindful eating starts from selection of ingredients to how your body responds to it. So the first category would be under mindfulness in the kitchen. That mindfulness starts in the kitchen. And the very first point under this category is choose your ingredients intentionally. I've said that before. Be present in the market or in the grocery store. Don't go to the grocery store and you're just picking. Look at the ingredients. Look at things. Look at it. Is it fresh? Is it organic? What's the sauce? Do you even know the nutritional facts behind at the back? Do you know how to read the nutritional facts? Do you understand the nutritional facts, the nutritional benefits of what you're buying? We have a whole video where I broke down how to read a nutritional label so you can get more, you can start knowing exactly what is contained in the food that you're eating. If you haven't watched that video, I advise that you go watch it. I'm going to put a link in the description box down below for you to go check it out. It's important. So when you go to a grocery store, do you even know what you're buying? Do you know where the source is from? Do you know if it's an imported product or if it's a locally made product? Do you know the artificial materials or resources that were used to create the product? Apart from that, do you even know how this product is adding nutrition to your body? Or are you just going to buy it because your mother taught you how to buy it, but how to use it? But do you know how it relates to your body? Does it make you feel better? Does it make you feel more nourished? How does it make you feel? Do you know all of these things? So you need to bring awareness to how you choose your ingredients, starting with educating yourself first of all about the different food groups, the different nutrients, the vitamins and minerals in the different food ingredients that you use to make your meals. That's basic nutrition. Basic. You just need basic nutrition. So it starts with you Googling, okay, I'm eating eba and egusi soup. What is the nutrient in eba and egusi soup? What is the nutrients? Okay, I use melon seed to make my egusi. What is melon seed? What group of food is melon seed? Is it fat? Is it carbohydrates? Is it protein? Does it have all of them? What is it? What is contained in it? What minerals does it have? So that I know that when I'm eating egusi soup next time, I know what it's doing for my body. Not that I'm just eating egusi soup because I grew up eating egusi soup. So even if egusi soup is not doing anything for your body, because you grew up eating it, you'll be eating it continually. No! Bring awareness. How is the fresh tomatoes that you use to make your stew, what is it doing for you? The oil you use to cook, what is it doing for you? The palm oil, what is it doing? Do you even know what it is doing? Get basic nutrition information or nutrition knowledge by just first of all understanding the major ingredients that you use in making your meals. Do you even know beans? When I tell people that beans has more carbohydrates than rice, they go, how? Because everybody was taught that beans is a proteinous food. Yes, beans has protein, but it has more carbs than rice. You only know this if you've gotten basic nutrition knowledge. You won't know it. You just go with what everybody has been telling you. Beans is a high protein food. It's not true. Yes, it contains protein. It contains a significant rich amount of protein compared to rice, but it has more carbohydrate than rice. Guys, it's important that we start asking these questions and getting more information about the food that goes into this only body system that we have to live on this earth, okay? The second point under the first category will be for you to cook with presence and intention. I've talked about your cooking methods. Can you swap unhealthy cooking methods for healthier ones? Instead of frying in oil, can you grill? Can you roast? You want to make a pot of ofada stew. You know how they used to pour a lot of oil inside and then the oil will be swimming. People think, oh, that's the rich stew. If the oil is not swimming on top, that's killing you. I'm cringing I have goosebumps just by explaining it. Literally. So instead of making your ofada stew with so much oil, is it possible to find another method? I have a method here on the channel, which we shared, I think, earlier this year. How you first of all start by roasting the peppers and grilling them first so that you don't have to fry them too much in oil. They've already built flavors from roasting and you still get authentic ofada stew by performing that method. Instead of deep frying your akara in too much oil, can you make akara pancakes? Can you bake the akara? We have a video, a recipe video on the channel on akara pancakes. You can check it out, or I'm going to put the link in the description box down below. So become more mindful of your cooking methods. Be more mindful. Don't overcook your meats. Don't kill the proteins in the meats. Yeah, don't overcook things. Like, don't over season. Pretty much what I'm trying to say here is cook with presence and intention in the kitchen. If possible, don't multitask. Relish the moment, smell the flavors. Notice how the food responds to the different heat temperatures. Like, be present, be mindful, be aware. Okay, still under the mindfulness in the kitchen category, the third point there is plate your food with care. Presentation matters for mindfulness, guys. And you eat with your eyes first. They always say, if a food looks good, it makes you more excited to want to eat that food, even if the food doesn't really taste good. So arrange your plates beautifully and balance colors, proportion, and food groups. I've seen people when they are serving a plate of rice and stew, they put the rice, then they now splash the stew on top of the rice. Or maybe they put the rice, they put the beans on top of the rice, they put the stew on top of the beans. I'm like, bro, can you just segment it? Put the rice, then put the beans, then put the stew. If on the same plate, but it can happen in proportion. Don't jabaroo everything. I'll put pictures for you to see here so you can understand what I mean. Don't be the one who eats without decorum. Don't be the one who has their plates fighting a war. Plate well, okay? And then under the next category, which is while you are eating, right? So we've moved from mindfulness when you are in the kitchen to mindfulness while you're eating. The first point here is create a calm environment. I've said it, I think there's a video we filmed, I don't know if it's up yet, about the 10 at-home dining etiquette, where I said, serve your food on the table. Create an environment, a calm environment, a clean environment, a warm, friendly environment, an environment that avoids distractions. Serve your food on a table. If you don't want to serve it on a table, serve it on a tray. Be excited about wanting to eat by first of all clearing out your environment and you're making sure that your environment is conspiring with you to make that food even more enjoyable. Put music on if you must. It helps you relish the food experience a whole lot better. Then, of course, this one I like to do, start with gratitude. So pause before your first bite, take a deep breath, and then acknowledge the journey of the food. Thank God for the food. If you believe that God is the one who provided the food, thank Him for the food. Think about how the food went from farm to your kitchen, from your kitchen to your pots, from the pots now it's a cooked meal. So acknowledge the journey, relish that journey, and then be grateful for it that you have food to eat. It's a beautiful way to create more attention and awareness to the food. And then the next one is eat slowly and chew thoroughly. I said it already that digestion actually starts in your mouth. How you chew the food, that's where your digestion starts. And when you chew correctly, the digestion process is easier. It's like you're helping your other organs digest the food faster and correctly when you start chewing. So take smaller bites, chew. They say chew 20 to 30 times. How many times do you chew when you put a spoon of rice in your mouth? That's like 15 times. That's a lot of times though. But if you're taking smaller bites, I think maybe just ensure that you're chewing it well. You're breaking it down very well as much as you can with your teeth before it goes down your throat, okay? This very much improves digestion and helps you notice flavors and fullness cues. And then, of course, engage all your senses. The aroma, the smell, the texture, touch. If you can touch with your hand or with your cutlery, then, of course, the sides, you plate correctly. Eating becomes richer and more satisfying when all of your senses are involved. When the food smells good, oh my God, this food smells so good. When it looks good, oh my God, this food looks good. Oh, the textures are right. Everything is just working 10-10. Activate your senses when you're eating, and then check in with your body mid-meal. Check in with your body mid-meal. I always say that it takes a little while for your body to tell your brain that you're full. So sometimes just pause, drop the cutlery, relax, and check in to see, am I full yet? Because I find that what a lot of people will do is, what makes you overeat is because you are eating too fast. You are not giving your body breaks in between spoons, right? You're eating too fast. And then because of that, like I said, your body needs time to tell your brain that it is full. So because you are eating too fast, it doesn't have that opportunity to tell your brain or process things to tell your brain. And then by the time you know what's happening, you have eaten the whole thing. Maybe you were full at 80% consumption, but because you did not pay attention, you finished it at 100%. Now you're over full. You're wondering, you want to burst. Your whole tummy wants to burst. A way to avoid that very easily is just checking. Just give your body breaks in between the spoonful of meals, of the food that you put in your mouth. Okay. It's very, very, very important. And then the final category on practical ways you can actually start eating mindfully will be the after eating mindfulness. So that's the final category. After you're done eating, what do you now do? First one is pay attention to how your body feels. Notice your energy, notice your mood, notice the digestion after the meal. Something happened to me I think earlier this year. I noticed that every time I would eat beans at a certain time, after 8 o'clock or 8:30, I try to eat my dinner before 7 o'clock every day. But every time I eat, maybe something happened and I'm not able to eat before then and I have to eat after. Every time I eat beans at 8:30, 9 o'clock, around that time, I always have severe indigestion. I would wake up at 12 and it feels like I'll be so discomforted by what's going on in my belly. I will literally belch and still perceive the smell of the beans. And the only way I relieve myself is by inducing vomit. I have to go and induce vomit to throw out what I ate that late at night. So I can, it's like the food is not digesting and my body is looking for a way out to release the food, but everywhere seems to be blocked. So I'm belching, it's not coming out of my throat, it's not coming out of my bum, everywhere is blocked. The only way I'm able to relieve myself is induce a vomit. The 2 times I noticed it, I'm like, okay, it's beans that's causing this thing. And that's what now made me say, okay, you know what? After a certain time, no matter what, if beans is the only thing available, I'm not going to eat it. That's for my body. I'm not saying that's what happens to everybody. And that's because I started paying attention and being more mindful. So be mindful. Notice how the food you eat responds to your body. How do you react to the food that you eat? It's actually very important. Are you light and energized or heavy and sluggish after eating a meal? This feedback actually helps you. It's data for your body to know which food truly serves your body right. Okay? And then another one, the next point on that being mindful after eating is reflect and adjust. So use what you have noticed to make better choices next time. So for me, once it's 8 o'clock, like I said, I'm never going to eat beans. It's not going to happen. I'd rather starve or go to bed hungry than eat beans at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, because now I've observed that it's not doing my body any good at that time. So every other time I eat it, I'm fine. But once it's 8 o'clock, I don't know how it works. I'm not sure why. But so with that information that I got, I'm never going to eat beans. I remember telling you about cashews. Cashews make me pass gas. I don't eat cashews when I know that I'm going to a public place or I'm going to be around people. So that when I pass my gas, I pass it in peace with myself, by myself. Okay. So use the cues and the data you get from how your body responds to this food that you eat to not make better choices and better decisions about your cooking methods and what you actually eat. Okay, choose lighter portions, maybe add more grains, use a different cooking method. This ongoing awareness builds a stronger relationship with food. And then I have one bonus tip here: make mindful eating a habit by choosing one meal a day, like lunch or dinner, to practice all these steps that I have shared with you. Now, once it starts to feel natural, then you can expand it to every meal. So maybe you say you're watching this video in the afternoon. Your next meal that you're going to eat, practice all these things that I've shared with you today, and then now continue from there as you progress on your journey. This tremendously will help you take your healthy eating game to the next level, especially when you start really doing it with a lot of intention. That's pretty much all that I have for you for today's video. If there is any point that I missed out on why it's important to eat mindfully or how we can start eating more mindfully, let's continue the conversation in the comment section down below so we can all continue to grow and learn together. I'll see you next time with another episode. Until then, remember to continue to live a healthy lifestyle. Take care.